All right, we are back to do some technical analysis. I have some important updates on Bitcoin, on XRP, SPY. We have some things that are literally breaking from formations that we saw previously, and I think that that is very critical to see what exactly could be coming next for us. So I'm going to put the charts up for you. You guys can let me know what you think down in the comments, and if you want to see more of these updates, make sure that you hit the subscribe button. Let me toss this up here for you. So the first thing, SPY. So looking at the S&P 500's ETF, this head and shoulders pattern, we are back up on top to 50 here. This one, in my opinion, is broken. And then today, if we can cross that 600 mark and retake this previous peak that we had right here on January the 6th, that even serves to further break that head and shoulders pattern that we potentially got. And you can see this minor trend line that we had across here, fully broken. Now, some important things to look at in here from last week. So on this candle, Wednesday, we crossed up above this blue 20-day. And then this candle right here on Thursday, also critically important for us as we got a rejection off of the 50, but then found support at the 20 days. So put in between those, and then Friday's full candle close above the 50. Also absolutely incredible for us to see that movement. That puts us in a very bullish position in the pre-market hours, flirting with that 600 number right now, $600.05 as I record this. And then what we're looking for is that final push above 609.83. Just call it 610 if you want to. Lots of rejection and floundering around happening near that number before. Getting on top of that is going to be the next big bullish thing that we're looking for. So from where we are at right now, we have about 1.5% in order to get there in the first place. And then, like I said, getting up above it is really the next big thing that we're looking for SPY. So let's move from there into the Qs. So when we look at the Qs, let me reset that view a little bit for us. This trend line that we have right here that can be confirmed in the hourly chart, even though you only see about 2 touches on it in here in this first early part is where you see most of those touches. That would be like a third or a fourth one. So this one was a confirmed trend line. We closed up above it after really having a drawdown to this low of 513 down below the 50, found support at the 50 and the 20, another bullish thing. So in the pre-market hours, seeing that push up above this trend line, you can see that right here with the orange. Once again, bullish for us. We need to see that higher high. So we want to see a push up above Monday, January 6th value of 527.92. So 528 plus is what we're looking for to further refute this downtrend that we've been on recently for the NASDAQ 100 ETF, QQQ. Moving into IWM, we see this trend line right here that has been broken going back to Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday, climbing up above this important Fibonacci level for us here of 225.32. So sitting on top of that, finding it as support. The next big thing for us is the 50-day at about $230 per share for IWM, tracking the Russell 2000 index. So we would be watchful for that up above the 200. So overall bullish position. The RSI crossing up above 50. So the momentum is there for us as well. So we want to see if we get that push for the Russell 2000. It's the same thing that pretty much all the indices that I've covered in here want, and what we want is subdued inflation and stabilization with the labor market, and then we also want to see the Fed cut the federal funds rate with continued strong earnings that we have for the S&P 500 companies that are out there, big tech, Netflix reporting today, and then we get a lot of big tech also coming up through next week as well, and so that's going to be huge for us to watch those numbers as they come out to see what exactly is being signaled for the consumer and the amount of strength that they're bringing to the economy right now. So that high GDP is that final ingredient that we want with that continued economic strength to really keep propelling the indices upward. So let's get back into the charts here. So for, like I said, the Russell 2000s, we want to stay up above 225. We really want to break up above that 230 to continue that bullishness. Now into crypto, my friends, with Bitcoin. With Bitcoin, what do we see here? Let me take it down the hiding of these visuals here. So you can see that I had a head and shoulders pattern on here, and I kept on saying we got to break this neckline in order to confirm it. We never did. Instead, we had this candle with this big long bottom wick here that looks like some buying pressure coming in down below this potential neckline. And then what we had was that break above the 50. And I said that is nearly the nail in the coffin, but the real nail in the coffin is breaking this previous high that we had January 7th. So 6th into the 7th. The 7th was the day where we had that previous high. This is a higher high for us. Now, what's the next thing? Let's get rid of this head and shoulders because it never did play out, but it was something to look for. There we go. So what's the next thing? Well, this 107,892 that I was talking about as we were making this climb previously, which is where we actually found some selling pressure on December the 16th and then also on December 17th, and where we find it again coming back to January the 20th. That's right, just yesterday following the inauguration. So we had a little bit of a sell the news happening during that time. It also could serve to be a near double top for us, although this being a little bit lower would be better for a double top, so showing us some sort of reversal than what we have. What we have here is a higher high, although it's not a higher close. And so that's something else that we want to pay attention to, is that our close was actually closer to what we had back on January 6th and January 7th. The momentum on a daily basis is very good right now. And so we could see that further climb coming in. We want further news, if we can, of a Bitcoin strategic reserve. I will say the Trump meme coin thing, I don't think that it did a lot to do with his pro-crypto case, especially if it does get seen as some sort of pump and dump scam. That wouldn't be very good, because it could be a self-serving interest, and I don't know that would shed too positive a light, although I don't think that it's enough to really dampen a lot of what we have going on right now. I think there's just too much strength and too much excitement for crypto, and it seems as though we're still in a risk-on environment right now, so we want to be watchful for that. So we don't have major signs of risk off, and so for Bitcoin, there still could be that further bullishness ahead. 107,892. Write that number down. That is the number that we want to cross above if we can, because getting a candle to sit on top of that, like we never have, by the way, getting a candle to sit on top of the 107,892 is going to be what really sells it for us in terms of, I'm actually going to put a white line on here so that we can see it. So that is really what's going to sell it for us for a break, which is a true breakout to the upside above what we've previously seen. So even though we did get a new all-time high yesterday, and that's very exciting to see that happen, 107,892 is that line in the sand. If we can't break that, we could trade sideways or we could tumble back down. So we need to watch for that. The big bullish thing is sitting on top of it. So I'm going to keep on reinforcing that. The fact that we have the 20 crossing over the 50 up over it this way is a bullish thing. So that is a good signal to see, a golden cross type moment, if you will. Not quite as strong as like 50 over the 200, but we'll take 20 over the 50. That's still a very good sign. Let's move into XRP, which for some reason is not here like it should be, but it will be in a moment. There we go. So for XRP, check this out. This was really cool. I had the price target here that I adjusted last week to $3.40. And where did we peak out on this thing? $3.40. So it took all the way until the thousandths place by the decimals that are there before we finally hit that point of inaccuracy. And that came off this consolidation pattern that you see right here. So based on the technicals, that first part has played out. We hit a little bit of an overbought territory and have subdued momentum since that point in time back into just bullish territory up above the 200, the 50, the 20, you name it, still bullish territory for us. But we're looking for that next uplift, that next push that propels us up to that next price target. Got to get on top of 340, got to hold 340 as that support that we just didn't get so far. So far, we got the rejection as resistance. And so we got almost a retest of it going back to, once again, Monday. Didn't quite get there, though. Fell about 3.5 cents shy of that $3.40. We want to see the push to sitting on top of that as support. And if we get that previous high as support for us, that sets us up for that next movement up to about $4.72. So pretty cool to see that technical play out as well as it did. Now it's for the next one based off the flagpole that we got off of this bull pennant formation. There, I'll reset the view so you can see it a little bit better. We'll squish it down. There it is. So there's the flagpole from back there, and that's equal to the flagpole that we had before. There's the distance from the consolidation pattern, and we can see that we already hit that price target. Just need to get on top of it now, and we absolutely can. So what's the outlook that we have right now for markets? Well, right now it's looking still fairly bullish. The next big catalyst that we have right now is in the hands of big tech, in my opinion, along with whatever further things we see news coming out from President Trump following his inauguration day. What else will he say that is really going to catalyze markets, or things that just kind of take the roadblocks out of the way for the markets, if you will? Some of that uncertainty of inauguration day has come off, and now the markets get to react to it. So we'll see if they react in a positive way. Right now, the bullish signs are there. So we'll see if those bullish signs are followed. Same thing with Bitcoin, same thing with XRP. We're set up in very good ways to see more upside from where we're at right now. And so we'll see if that plays out. News of Bitcoin strategic reserve is going to be huge. XRP ETF. By the way, I do have to make a quick amendment to my previous video where I mentioned XRP. The SEC did file its appeal, but it was late on Wednesday when that took place. So that when I checked on Wednesday, no sign of appeal. And I was like, hey, all right, green lights. But we got the upside from that anyway. But it was late in the day on Wednesday that we got that. Now with Trump taking office, we'll see as these first few weeks play out if we get more positive news for crypto coming out of it. And so we got that first major catalyst of the inauguration day knocked down. Now it's okay, well, what news is next for us? Are we going to hear more about Bitcoin strategic reserve? Are we going to hear more crypto-friendly speak coming out of the Oval Office, if you will? That could be absolutely huge. And we'll also see for further SEC appointments if we get a Gary Gensler resigning and get more crypto-friendly people into the SEC, more people that are on board with the crypto side of things. Those are going to be positive catalysts for us, guys. If you want to see more of what I have, like my buys and sells, and also my technicals, you can see those over at the Discord available through the Patreon. That link is down in the description. Come on over, support the channel, and get access to a wonderful community that's over there. And then also, if you want to check out technical analysis trading for yourself, not only can you learn about doing the technicals, but also technical analysis trading using the bread recipe developed by Stockmo. There's a link for Stockmo Academy down in the description. Click that, sign up, get access, and the bread recipe is super easy to trade on. I trade on it myself. The course walks you exactly through how to set it up. Plus, there's a learning community that goes along with it where you can go and ask your questions and get them answered. I can tell you, bread recipe trading strategy, top notch, stand by it, absolutely love it for finding out when those stocks or crypto, when we're going to see that movement up, when we're going to see the movement down, being able to use options on top of it. And I can say it's incredibly powerful, and I stand by it. Guys, thank you for watching. I am Dr. Stock, Doctor of Education. Remember, my friends, that learning is earning, and we'll see you next video.